want to mention a few thoughts. I noticed something interesting recently. I think all of us at one time or another have probably had the experience of listening to a recording of our own voice. And I think for most people, when you hear your own voice, you think, oh wow, that doesn't really sound like me. That's not how I sound to myself in my own head. But the interesting thing is that I think with whispering, it's different. If I listen to a recording of myself whispering, it sounds exactly the same as it sounds to me. I think this has to do with the fact that when we speak normally, there's a tone component to the voice, and that sound resonates inside our own bodies. And so, in addition to hearing it through the air with our ears, we also hear that resonating sound. And that's why we sound different to ourselves than we sound in a recording. But whispers don't seem to work that way. I think it sounds the same. I wonder if anyone else has noticed this. It's kind of cool. Anyway, on the topic of voices and whispering, I'd just like to say that this is just how my voice normally sounds when I'm relaxed and whispering. I'm not trying to change my voice or anything. This is just me, so I hope you like it, but it is just my natural voice. Another thing I wanted to mention is about ASMR. I got one comment where someone was asking, they're not sure exactly what ASMR is or whether or not they have it. There's a site, ASMR Research. I think if you Google ASMR Research, you can find it. But ASMR has to do with a kind of physical reaction that some people have to certain sounds. And typically it's an intense tingling sensation that you get at the top of your head, or at least it starts at the top of your head, and then it can travel through your body, and I guess different people experience it differently. For me, it will often go through my whole body, but for other people they say that usually it's localized to their head, or maybe their head and shoulders or something like that. It seems to have to do with particular types of sounds, and it can be visuals too. For me, it's mostly sounds that I react to. But occasionally I have found, there are visuals that will do it. Some people just find certain sounds to be pleasant and relaxing, and that's really great. But I don't think that's necessarily the same thing as ASMR, because ASMR is such a noticeable physical sensation. But if you just find sounds relaxing, that's great. It's not like you have to have ASMR or not. It doesn't really matter. I have it, but apparently most people do not have it. Most of my life I thought that everyone else had it too, because it just seems so normal. And I just thought that the reason other people didn't mention it was just because there wouldn't be that much to say. It would be kind of like talking about sneezing or something. So it never really occurred to me that not everyone has it, but then I started to read about it online, and I realized, oh yeah, there's this thing that always happens to me quite often, and I've never really questioned it, and I didn't know that it had a name, but there are people online that have sites about it. There's a Facebook group for it. There's obviously there's ASMR videos on YouTube that are designed to trigger ASMR. For me, I find it also very interesting that some people who may not have ASMR still enjoy the ASMR videos. So that makes me kind of wonder whether there are people who have ASMR to a lesser degree, or they have part of it but not all of it, or something like that, where maybe they respond emotionally to certain sounds but without that physical tingling sensation. That would be interesting. I don't really know. It makes me want to find out more about it, though. Yeah, so I started watching these ASMR videos, and at first I thought that I only would respond to sound, but I did eventually find some of the visual ones. Usually the visual ones that work for me are the ones where someone is moving their hands around, or often it's like they're massaging their own hands, and there's just something about the way that looks. I don't think it has to do with the meaning, and even with the sound videos, I don't think that, for me personally, that the ASMR has a lot to do with the meaning of the sound. It's just something about the sound. So, something like certain clicking noises, or, I don't know, like just these random, like people crumpling paper or something like that, can trigger ASMR for me. But it's not the meaning of the thing. With whispering, yeah, that does it for me too. And although I really enjoy the meaning of the words too, usually, I don't think that the meaning of the words by itself has anything to do with it. It just kind of adds to it. I think it's the particular sound of certain people's voices, when they whisper especially, but sometimes just even when someone's talking in a normal voice, depending on the exact qualities of their voice, it might I might have that reaction, but it doesn't really have to do with the exact words that they're saying, in terms of meaning, but it has to do with the way the words sound. Okay, my cat is bothering me now because he wants me to pet him, so I guess that's a good time to stop this video. Thanks to everyone who subscribed and commented. It's been fun finding out people's reactions to my videos, and you guys are great. So I'll see you again soon.